if you're a small business owner and at some point you thought about implementing logs in your business, I'm sure it probably felt overwhelming, right? Because every system is producing logs and every vendor wants you to capture all their logs, right? But the truth is, capturing everything, capturing all the logs is not only expensive, it's also noisy and useless. As a small business, you don't need enterprise grade logging, right? So the goal here is to capture the signals that matter when something goes wrong. So in this video, we're going to see what are the logs that you should keep, the logs that you should ignore, and we're also going to see where you should store those logs without over-engineering. When a cybersecurity incident happens, the first question is always what happened here. And having logs let us answer some very important questions. Who logged in, from where, at what time, what did they access, what did they change, what action have they taken, what have they deleted anything. Depending on the type of business that you have and also the industry that you're in, having those logs could matter a lot, right? Especially if you have some type of regulatory obligation or client confidentiality, it would be very important to have those logs in place. So although we have established that logs are important, logging everything is going to create another type of problem for you, right? You're going to drown in data and you're going to miss the important stuff. So the goal for us is not to log everything, but to focus on the high signal logs. So first, let's take a look at the logs that you should keep. And they're going to be in three categories. You're going to have the authentication logs. You're also going to have administrative action logs. And you also, the last one is going to be logs that are happening on the edge and the network. So let's take a look at the first category of logs that you should keep as a priority, which are going to be the authentication logs. And those are going to be the most important ones, primarily because most breaches, when they start with stolen credentials, right, that threat actors are going to recycle. So those logs let you know who accessed what and when. The actions that are going to fall within this category are going to be successful login, right? Fair login attempts, also password resets are going to fall in here. And probably the last one is going to be multi-factor authentication trigger challenges. There are going to be a little bit more action as well, but those are going to be the main ones that you really should keep your eye on for this category over here. As far as where those logs are going to be stored or kept, for the type of small business that we have here, which is a little bit more professional services, this is going to be the productivity platform, or again, cloud and identity management. And what I'm referring to here is going to be Microsoft 365 or Google Workspace, depending on what they have implemented. So the next category that we're going to look at for logs that you should keep, right, are going to be administrative action logs. And being an admin means you can do everything in your system. You can set security settings, you can create your user, you can delete user, you can create data, you can delete data, right? So the administrative actions logs are going to show you what has changed in your system that could impact your security.